What's up, ladies, gentlemen, and not internet trolls today? This video is not for you, so if you're an internet troll, get on out of here. I'm just kidding. Stay and watch. Just tell me you dislike me in the comments, something like that. But this is another episode of Fan Fridays, the show where I give outsiders an inside look into the mind of an MLB All-Star. Have you ever wondered what MLB managers do, how involved they are with the culture, what they do on a day-to-day basis? Have you ever wondered what I might want to do when I retire? If you have any of those questions or any of those thoughts, stick around because I'm going to answer them right now. All right, question number one comes from YouTube. How do you possibly keep up with the plans on every single batter? And the answer to that is I don't. I know that most hitters are similar. You can kind of bucket hitters into a couple different groups. So I'll look through a lineup and I'll say, okay, this is generally how I would like to face a righty. If I just had a generic righty up there that I didn't know anything about, this is how I would go about attacking him. Does that work for this hitter? If yes, forget about him. If no, then I log that information. Generally speaking, there's one or two guys in the lineup that I might have to think about a little bit differently. But that way I can just default to how I like to pitch to the majority of hitters because my repertoire and my way of pitching lines up well with them. And then I only have to remember a couple different scouting reports. So that's how I go about it. Some guys are different. They want to know everything about each individual hitter, but to each their own. I can't remember all that information. I want to go out there and just compete and be aggressive and try to strike people out. So I say, how many people can I just do that against? And it'll be good enough. And then how many people do I really need to think about, how I'm going to get them out? So that's how I handle it. Question number two, what's the difference in being traded in the offseason versus traded at the deadline? Well, at the deadline, you have a lot more stuff that you have to figure out. You got to move all your stuff from your apartment. You got to move out. You got to fly to a new city. You got to find a place to live. You got to meet a whole bunch of new teammates on the fly while games matter and compete. You got to learn the new culture. You got to figure out who you're facing. It might be a different league, different division, so you're facing different hitters. You might not know them very well. There's a lot of things that go into it. In the off season, there's very much less stress. So you say, oh, I got traded. Okay, well, I'll call and figure out where I'm going to live in spring training, and then I have 6 weeks to get to know my teammates and to get to know the culture, and I'll probably go to the new city here in a couple of days to talk to the GM and the manager and the owner and get to know everybody and do a press release and stuff like that. But it's it's a lot less stressful getting traded in the off season than it is during season. So hopefully that answers your question. Question number three, once you retire, do you think you'll open your own driveline type place and or do a traveling baseball team as a coach and a trainer? I can see myself having my own gym. Maybe, I don't know. I don't have any interest really in getting into training as a profession. I can see myself doing training to accomplish something else. I've always fancied the idea of coaching mid-level D1 college, somewhere where I could bring in kids that didn't necessarily get recruited by the top-end D1s, but that have a really good skill set. And I would redshirt them all their freshman year, so they would have a year and a half before their first season of just uninterrupted development time. And so we could quantify what they're good at and what they need to develop on. And so we could have a big push on development. And I can see myself training in that aspect and designing programs in that aspect because it would be for the goal of helping those kids get to the next level of baseball and also winning games at that college. So you would redshirt freshmen and hitters and pitchers, and they would face each other all the time in live ABs, make it super competitive, put a lot of bets on the line, create the culture that you want. Those guys would also they would throw live BP to the team that was actually playing, that wasn't redshirting, so that those guys got live at bats. So you would run it very much like a team. Everyone would have their role. Some people's role would be to compete and to win games, and some people's role would be to develop, and in their development they would be helping the team compete and win games. And then after their freshman year of redshirting, they would be on the active team and display those skill sets and go about it like that. So I can see myself doing something like that more so than I can just running a gym or running a travel ball team. All right, now for some questions from my fans at trevorbauer.com. Lonnie Bush asks, if you could choose a player who has already retired to be your teammate, who would it be and why? I can't say on this front from a teammate perspective because I don't know a lot of the guys that are retired right now. So I don't know how they were in the clubhouse. I'd love to have Barry Bonds on my team, though. I mean, it just helps you win games. So that's kind of my definition of a teammate. If a guy's really, really good and he helps you win games, that's really all I care about. Because that's what we show up to the field to do. Yeah, it's great if you can enjoy being around some guys and have fun with them. It makes life a lot easier. But ultimately, I want to win games. So if we have a chance to win the World Series and this guy helps us win the World Series, then I'm all about that. And, I mean, who better to help you win the World Series than the best hitter of all time? Well, I don't know. Mike Trout might pass him for the best hitter of all time. We'll see. But currently, as we speak, I think Barry Bonds is the best hitter of all time. So that would be my choice. Next up, Skylar Jersey says, when did you know that you had a chance at becoming a professional baseball player? That was after my sophomore year of college. I pitched all the way through the College World Series and had really good success against the top competitors and the top talent level in college baseball. And at that point, I really started thinking, okay, I probably am going to get drafted and have a really good chance at becoming a pro and having a chance to move up and be a big leaguer. Before that, it was always a dream, but it was never really a tangible reality. So it was after that year, after my sophomore year at UCLA, I started saying, you know what, I have a really good chance at getting drafted high and going on to play professionally. Let's see here. Jaden Mintz says, are you interested in becoming the MLB Commissioner at some point once you retire? And the answer to that is absolutely not. I have no interest in that. None whatsoever. Not a single ounce of me wants anything to do with being the commissioner. God, no, I would not enjoy anything about that. So hard no on my front. Let's see. Last but not least, Jacob Malloy says, how important are MLB managers? What do they do on a day-to-day, month-to-month, year-to-year basis? Is the vibe and the tone of the team determined by players, coaches, or the managers? This is a really, really good question. So thank you, Jacob. I don't know that I've heard a question this in-depth in a long time because not many people ask about the managers and they either just praise them or they shit on them. So yeah, I don't know. Great question. Let me try to answer it. The role of the manager has changed a lot in the past 10 years, the way I see it. It used to be the manager was in charge of basically everything, running the team. You know, he would make the lineup card. He would pinch hit. He would know the strategy. He would choose which player comes in and the relievers that they're going to use. And it was like a chess game, and the managers had to have a lot of experience to really manage that. In recent history, managers have become more and more about just managing the culture and the morale of the team, because a lot of these decisions on who's going to play are being made by the front office, and the managers are getting pressured more and more to do what the analytics are saying and play these guys because the numbers say that they're going to be better, or it gives us a better chance to win today. Same thing with reliever and hitter matchups. Every manager goes out there and they have a card and this says, okay, well, who are our best matchups against every guy in the lineup and who's available today? And so all this information has been presented. We have a better way of quantifying what performance matchups are more beneficial for us and which ones aren't. So the managers have a lot of that information given to them already, where they don't have to be spending their time thinking about those decisions as much. There's a group of analytics people in the front office that do that for them. So the manager's job is then, maintaining morale with the players and regular conversations with the players. How's it going? How's the family? How you feeling? Like, what can I do to make your job easier? What can I do to help you perform better? Stuff like that. It's managing team morale. Maybe you go through a 6 or 7 game losing streak. What do you do to spark the morale of the team, to get them back up, to get them back interested in playing and stuff like that? So that's another big one. In-game stuff is still big. Understanding the flow of the game and what's going on and what adjustments you might need to make, or maybe it's a 1 o'clock game and your guys, you played a 15-inning game the night before and your guys are just dragging, and maybe you have to go against the analytics a little bit because you just need to get someone that's fresh that didn't play the night before in there because this guy's struggling or whatever. So there's definitely still strategy to it and all that. But during season, a lot of it is understanding the analytics and managing the players' morale and the moods and whatnot. Year-to-year basis, just trying to learn, I think. The more they can learn about the game, the analytics side of it, the more experience they get, the more they watch film, the more they interact with different personality types, the better they become, just like anything else, as long as they're actively trying to learn and grow. I know David does a really good job of reading a lot on leadership and management and implementing those techniques on culture, on trying to set a culture where everyone feels included and empowered to be who they are and to do what they do, but in a way that's productive for the overall group. I've been really impressed with the staff that he's developed around him and the way that everyone's empowered to do their jobs and everyone knows who to talk to for what and all that. So that's been really impressive on his front, and really appreciative of David for doing that, for attempting to learn and grow and advance every single day, because that's how I am, and it's nice to be around people that are thinking about things the same way. So without any firsthand experience of what it's like to be a manager and to be in those shoes, that's my best guess, and just from what I've seen in my years in pro ball. So hopefully that answers your question. And now is the part of the video where hopefully you guys can answer some of my questions, one of my questions. And my question for the day is, in your mind, what is the most iconic sports call of all time? Let me know in the comments below. Leave me a like, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because that would help me on my goal to 100,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. You can also help me on that goal by telling your friends about this channel, let them know it exists. I answer these questions and make all this content to entertain all you baseball fans and all you Trevor Bauer fans out there. So let anybody who doesn't know about this channel know about it. If you'd like a shout out in a future Fan Fridays video, head on over to trevorbauer.com, sign up for my email list, and submit your questions on the homepage. And other than that, that's it for the day. Not going to ramble anymore. Stay safe, be healthy. I'll see you in the next one.